Hi, it's Malcolm here, and you may have heard that Betfair have got a new premium charge. They kind of scrapped their old one, and they've now got their new premium charge. And the question is, could it be a badge of honour? If it is, most people watching this video will probably never pay it. But with the right plan, they could certainly get close to it. And that's what I want to discuss in this video, is not only how you could get close to it, and a few ideas on how to do it. So stay tuned and let's get on with it. Okay, so Betfair's new premium charge, the old one's been scrapped, where it was kind of a rolling thing where, you know, the more you earn over a lifetime, the more you paid commission. Now they've done it on a 52-week rolling period where from 25k to 100k, you'll pay 20%, and from 100k upwards, you'll pay 40%. So evidently, straight away, that'll take a lot of people out of the charges anyway, and only the most affluent users will be paying that kind of commission. Don't forget, a lot of bookies use Betfair to lay off their markets, and you know, there's a lot of institutions and people like that. That's why I think Betfair really are going for those. But so a lot of normal people won't be near that 25k. But how do you get to it? What does it take to get to that 25k? And how could you just avoid it as well? So let's have a look at that. Let's work out what we have to do on a daily basis. So if we took 25,000 and divide it by 365 days, we get £68.49 per day. Now, of course, betting 365 days a year is not easy to do, and most people couldn't do it. Maybe you could, I don't know, but most people probably wouldn't want to do that. Most people would want to bet 5 days a week, and you know, a few races a day or a few tip matches a day, that kind of thing. So you know, you probably wouldn't do 68.49 a day. So to get to 25,000, you probably have to do 100 or 150 a day. But how would you get to those figures? Say you were starting today with very small stakes, you know, like £1 or £5 or £10 like that. How do you get up to £68.49? Do you have to look for those, you know, 1 to 10? Sorry, do you have to look for those 10 to 1 winners, or those 50 to 1 winners, or even those 3 to 1 winners? Or can you do it a different way? So let's have a look at that. Okay, so what I want to discuss is just a simple idea, okay, where today we're starting off with £1 stakes. Now, obviously, this is gambling. You know, anything can happen. You've got to be careful. I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that, and I'm certainly not giving you financial advice. But what I'm saying is, if you look at a calculator like my trade calculator here, you can see that it's actually not going to be that difficult. But what we're actually talking about is time. How long can you go making a certain amount of money every day? Now, of course, with gambling, you're going to lose sometimes. So that's why I like to call them targets. Okay, so each one of these targets is, you know, say we want to make £1 a day, or £1. We want to reach that target. Now, we might not do it on our first bet, but with a number of bets, we might get to that £1, reach that first target, and then we can do a bit of compounding to increase our stake the next time. Now, of course, when you're looking for 2 to 1 or 5 to 1 or 10 to 1 winners, you might have to go through a lot of losers before you gather back that money. And I think that's what puts a lot of people off with this kind of sports betting, is because those losers, and you know, we all kind of go, oh yeah, well, it's only 5 losers in a row, 10 losers in a row. But generally people stake more than they can afford to their bank. And so those losers stack up very, very quickly, or they just get bored and they can't do it. I've got a number of systems where, you know, it makes money, but people get bored with doing it because it's like they have to do one thing per day, and it's like, oh, I can't be bothered to do that, and they're moving on to the next thing. But that system does constantly make money over time, but people just get bored of them. So let's have a look at this anyway. So day one, or target one, we call them days for now because it'll make it easier. So just say that we find some kind of method where we can make half of our stake every day. So we find, you know, that we can pick a good football match where the favourite is trading at 1.50, and we're really good at it, and we tend to win one of those a days. Or we can pick a tennis match, or we know a horse, or we're on the place market, that kind of thing. One place where we can figure out that we can make 1.50 or 50 pence of our stake a day even if it takes a couple of bets to get to it. So maybe we're not going for 1.50s, maybe we're going for 1.25s or something like that, and doing it that way, or some kind of ACCA, or Dutch, or anything. There's loads of ways you could actually get to that kind of stake, and we're not talking about risking it on a 5-1 winner or anything like that. We're just literally going for a 1.50, which gives you like 66% chance of winning runner or player or whatever. So anyway, we start this idea where we take 5% of our winnings and put them onto our next stake. So as you can see here, we go from 1 to 1.3 to 1.5 to 1.8. Now they are £1 stakes, and it doesn't happen quickly, okay, because compounding is one of those things where it kind of starts off slow and then gradually builds up, and then it takes off, and you'll see that in a minute. So the first 30 days we're doing all right. We double our stake, so we're now on £2, and we're not making a great deal of money a month, but we're starting to get going. And then 90 days we're up to £9, so making a bit more, starting to make a bit more money, that kind of thing. We're going on, and then down the line, I think that month, by the way, is divided times by, I don't know why per month, that should be times by 30 or something, shouldn't it? So if I times that by 30, that would give us a better idea of what we kind of make per month. So we're making £30 a month, obviously, so we take that down. We get to stupid numbers, as you can see. So yeah, gradually, we get to those 90 days, and we're up to £9, so £270 a month, not bad, a bit of extra money in the bank and that kind of thing. We carry on, and we kind of get to, well, let's say 160 days, which is kind of like half the year, isn't it? And we're now at £50 stakes. We're making about £1,500 a month, that kind of thing. Presumably commission is in this or not, it doesn't really matter, it's one way or the other, isn't it? So anyway, the point is that we get to this kind of level, and we're doing quite well, but it's not enough. Now you could be looking down here and saying, £68 a day, that's what we're looking for. Well, it's actually not, because we're only making half of that, so 34. Now what I want to do is wind forward to 365 days. So I'm going to whack up to 365 days just so I can show you it. And that's 365 days, and that's 1 year of continually making a little bit every day and adding it to the bank. Okay, and of course those stakes are going to increase, the profits are going to increase. Now, I don't know many people watching this that are going to put 8,000 quid on a game. Okay, so this is what I mean by time. It doesn't take a lot of time to get to that kind of figure if you can be consistent. Now you might be saying, well, that's a year away. Yeah, but lots of people watching this video would have been betting for 10-20 years and hardly make any money every year. Others will be new to it, and I'm saying to you, look, if you can just settle down and just look for that one place where you can make that half of your stake every day and compound, and just carry that on day after day when you can. All right, so that's a year to get to 8,000, which is miles more than we want. So let's go back down again and get to that, £136 or whatever it is that we actually need to make every day, and that kind of just probably keeps us under the Betfair premium. Okay, so it took 200 days or 200 targets or whatever that would be. So even if you did only bet, or did manage to make half of your stake or one of these targets every few days, and you got to 200 days, that's what you could be doing. But when you think about it, even if it took 2 years, would it matter? The thing is, it's not about how much you make in this game. It's about how consistent you are at making it, and that's what it's about. Okay, so we've covered that. We kind of know what we're going to do. How do we find these markets? Well, there are lots of markets on Betfair, so let me give you a couple that are quite reasonable to do, I suppose. I mean, football, I don't know much about football, so I can't really comment too much on football, but if you come down on football, you can find these matches that are, you know, trading at 141 or 165. These presumably are reasonably good bets on a home team, and if you take it on the home team, that gives you a slight advantage because home teams tend to win a bit more than away teams, and it's that kind of thing you want to stack up. You want to find these places where the statistics say, well, you know, home teams win a lot, so let's go. And you'll find a lot of the time the home team price is that little bit better. Or you could argue that if a away team's price is so low, then they must be much stronger to get over the statistical chance of winning against a home team. So there are arguments both ways for that. But, you know, you could look for a low price football team. Maybe you know a lot about football, that kind of thing. And there are loads of other markets in Betfair on football, like the under and over markets. You could go on the 045s, but you probably want to wait until the price is a bit higher before you do that. Or you could argue that you really think there's going to be more than 2 goals in this match, or 2 goals, and so you go over the over and under 1.5 goal market. That's one place. Another place to go is the Betfair place market. So there's a market on Betfair where we've got 4 run a race and 2 to be placed. So basically that 2 be placed covers half the field, and we could, the 2 favourites here are both well above 1.5 or above 1.5, and we got 2 other selections here that are better, that we might think have a good chance of placing in this market. The great thing about Betfair's place market is they do 4 place markets where it covers fields of 8 or less, and Betfair don't change that payout if there's a non-runner. So you can often find races where there's a 4 place payout on a 7 place race, and you can look through there and find a price and one that you think is going to work. So that's another market that you can get to. There are tennis markets. We can go to tennis markets, and I tend to go for men's matches on hard surfaces, and so I don't know if that one is particularly that match is a men's. It is a men's. I don't know what the surface is on there straight off, but again, it's tennis is. Men's matches are pretty close most of the time, so you know you could possibly pick a favourite to win on the tennis markets. I don't know much about the other markets, if there are any. Some do have other markets, but generally that's the kind of thing you're looking for. So look for places where you can find a 1.5 or less and do 2 together, and that's how you make your 1.5 per day, or whatever that time scale tends to be. So I hope you kind of enjoyed that video. I hope you get to pay in or not pay in the premium charge. You get up to close to it. If you do, let me know. But if not, if you've got any comments, leave them down below. And of course, if you want to subscribe to the channel, please do that. But until next time, see you soon. Bye bye.